Alrighty then, I don't know what I've done. I might have lost part one of the whole testimony of my rotten day that I had yesterday at work. So I have just, I hope I didn't delete part A of this video. Yesterday I had a lot to talk about and it was a very lengthy video, so I thought I would go ahead and come back on and kind of reconfirm and also clarify some things about what I said on some areas that I want to make sure you guys don't misunderstand. I did mention my husband's a man of few words and he doesn't show a lot of emotion, and it's because of the way he was raised. His mother was not a very uh, emotionally exuberant, or she didn't show a lot of affection and emotion when my son, or my husband, excuse me, was growing up. So he has a tendency to be slightly adverse to always expressing emotions. Kind of keeps things to himself. But I can tell through all the years we've been together when he's upset or sick or whatever, just like a child, you get to know your spouse, and there are nuances. But I wanted to clarify that I thought that in rehashing what I said yesterday, I was thinking maybe he felt he was put on the spot because my son-in-law was there, my daughter was there, the kids, grandkids were there, and I was there, and maybe he felt that he was kind of uncomfortable as to how he was supposed to react regarding this puppy that he insisted he did not want. And so I got to thinking about the definition or the purpose or reasoning behind his actions and why he seemed so upset and angry rather than exuberant, or even not even exuberant, just touched, maybe just touched just a little bit. But I think that in his heart he felt that if he expressed any kind of joy or any kind of appreciation, that he was betraying Sky the dog. That's the only thing I can think of that would make him so cold and indifferent to the happiness that we, and myself especially, falsely putting on those rose-colored glasses. I tried to bring a little bit of laughter and lightness into the situation, and it just backfired in my face. But again, I think that he was also confused and maybe unsure, because maybe he felt that I was trying to replace the dog with another dog, which I'm not going to do. Or that wasn't my goal. You can't replace something you've loved. You always have a special place in your heart for people that have gone on, that you loved and lived with and enjoyed, sharing, memories with. I know there's a special place rather in people's hearts that is exclusive to memories. It's been a tough year, or actually it's been a tough 5 years, because my father passed away, my husband's father passed away, my mother-in-law passed away, my grandmother passed away, and then our loving pet of over 15 years, Sky, passed away. And now I have Roxanne here next to me under these covers here sleeping, and she's the same age as Sky was when Sky passed away. But she's a mix, so she's a smaller dog. She's not a thoroughbred, she's a Pekingese Chihuahua mix, so she's going to probably live a little bit longer than Sky. But I felt this puppy, even though he said he didn't want a dog, and I even tried, like I said earlier in the video, that I really, really tried to find an older dog, maybe 6 months and older, but I just couldn't find anything. It was just useless. But I know it made it seem like I was making him out to be a tyrant, but I'm just, I'm still kind of shell-shocked. But when he came home last night after the tears and the heartbreak and everything, and I didn't even sleep the first night, I was just so wound up, trying to stay on top of making sure the puppy doesn't pee on the floor, which he's peed twice in the house, but it's my fault because I'm getting a little more slack. I was really super attentive to the puppy yesterday, but I'm gonna backtrack a little bit and try to really be attentive, because like right now the puppy is napping, and I know the minute he wakes up he's going to have to go pee. I can't delay. I'm learning his personality as well as he is learning my personality, so we're going to get it together. But and my granddaughter's here to help me. She's been a tremendous help with the dog. But I did want to say in defense, it's not that this is something, my husband and I are very set in our ways, and I am very dogmatic and very determined oft times, and so is he, and we often buck heads, and we're often, at opposite ends sometimes, and sometimes we meet in the middle, but a lot of times we don't, and we have to communicate with each other to get each other to fully understand what's going on, and then oftentimes we can come to conclusions. But I just got myself so wound up thinking this was going to be a grandiose, magnificent experience, and it just exploded. And I'm at fault, but he's also at fault. I'm not saying he's innocent in his actions. He should have been a little more sympathetic. But you know, but what's so weird is, like, today I had to go to the doctor's and get some blood drawn because I told y'all I've been sick and I've had thrown out my back. So I had to go and talk to the regular doctor today at the same place I went to on Sunday for my back. And while I was there, well, I had to get up early this morning and be at my daughter's house at 6:30 to collect, to try to get my grandson, because his daddy was leaving to go to work and my daughter was getting off work because she did a night shift last night. So there was a little bit about like a 40-minute gap where the kids would have been by themselves, and we don't leave the children by themselves like that. They're still too young. Even though they're asleep, we just don't do that. So me and Nevaeh were running late this morning. We thought we were going to make her daddy late. It was just very stressful. We took the puppy out. It was pouring down rain, and the puppy didn't finish really going to the bathroom. He peed, but he didn't get to poop. So I put him in the cage and locked him in the cage for the very first time and completely left him by himself, and he was having a fit. He will go in the cage and eat. I'm trying to train him that the cage is not his enemy, that the crate is not his enemy, but with all that going on, and then I got to their house this morning, and then my daughter came home, so she let the kids stay there while I ran to the doctor. But I had to run the puppy to my husband's shop real quick, and I'll be, while I come back from the doctor's and come back from getting my medication and everything I needed today, the phone rings. It's my son from Tulsa, and my husband starts bragging, yeah. Chris goes, first thing he heard, he's very attuned, and he says, do I hear crying, Dad? And he's like, oh, it's a puppy. And Chris said, what? And he said, oh, it's a puppy. Your mom got me a puppy for Father's Day. And my son laughed. He goes, really? And he was all happy and everything. He's like, yeah, he got me a dog. And I thought, got you a dog? It's our dog. It's my dog. It's our dog. It's not just your dog. Yesterday it was like nobody's dog. And now all of a sudden it's your dog, you know. And I guess I was so hypersensitive, and that's how he does. It's like, he's not schizo, and he's not, you know, he's obnoxious, and he's set in his ways and all of that. So that's what I can only attribute to his actions, as to all of a sudden it was, yeah, your mom got me a puppy for Father's Day. And he was all lighthearted and everything, and I'm just like, wow, what a contrast. He still wasn't all happy and everything, but now all of a sudden I got him a dog for Father's Day, or a puppy for Father's Day, he tells my son. So they're trying to make arrangements for him to go, possibly him and my son, to go to Tulsa so they can build this wraparound porch around my son's modular home. But I got news for the husband. He's not going anywhere until he finishes my porch first in the backyard. When he finishes my mess in the backyard, then he can go to Tulsa this summer and help my oldest son with his porch. Because my porch is a mess, and it's just not fair. And this is the kind of stuff that happens, and it's amazing to me that we have been married since 1970. We've been together since 1973. We married in 1974. We had our son in 76, and we've been together ever since. So it's a miracle that we have not killed each other, and it's kind of like a love-hate relationship over the years, and it's crazy. But I'm like, you're not going. I said to my husband as I was leaving, which I know he acted like he didn't hear me, because he does that too. He kind of acts like he didn't hear what I said. He knows I'm talking, but he doesn't listen. And I said, well, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to Tulsa and building my son, which I would never hesitate. You know, I have no issue with that, but I would do anything for my kids. But it's like, you're not going anywhere and finishing off a beautiful surround deck for my son's modular home when you haven't even finished the back deck for my house. Okay, I live in a 3-story colonial that demands a deck in the back. It doesn't need to be a wraparound, but, and then you're going to go all the way to Tulsa to build my handsome, beautiful, loving son, you know, a wraparound deck for his modular home, which is fine. Like I said, he lives on 22 acres of land, but it's kind of like the cobbler's wife goes barefoot. So here this past year, it's been stressful. It's been very stressful, and I'm not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere, but it's kind of like, I just, you know, he does really good things and he surprises me quite often. He's a good man, but he's just very old-fashioned and very atypical of not having a clue. So, but I did want to defend his situation because I think I probably put him on the spot, but still, um, you know, I'm not being abused as far as physically and all that jazz like some people go through, but we're not on the same, a lot of times we believe in the same ocean, we're just at opposite ends of the shore. So anyway, I'm going to go. Hopefully all of this went through. You guys have a good day. Bye.